Hey everybody, this is Elliot with Modern Music Studio. Today I'm going to be going over some more advanced techniques for using the Ableton Push 2 to create and perform a song live. The idea here is really to build a song from scratch and play it and manipulate it without having to pause the song or stop at any point. So I'm going to hop right into it and let's look at Ableton to start. So looking at Ableton, you're going to notice I already have some tracks set up here. I really just have a MIDI track here, 2 audio tracks, which is this mic right here, and then 3 more MIDI tracks right there. You can ignore these last 2 audio tracks, 7 and 8. They're really just for talkback for me to hear myself and you to hear me. All right, so now that you've chosen your sounds, we're going to pop down to your in and out section here. If this does not show up for you, just cruise over to the right side of your screen and click this I/O button. Once it's lit up, you'll notice everything that I'm going to be messing with shows up in your Ableton as well. So from there, I want to make sure that so I'm going to be using 2 different MIDI controllers here, the Ableton Push and the MPK249. Ableton has this cool feature where I can choose which MIDI controller is sending to which track in Ableton. Going from here, I'm just going to go ahead and choose MPK249. There are a bunch of different options for this one. For now, just make sure, I would go in if you don't know which one's which and click a few of them until you find the one that actually works. So if I go to this one and I click it, you'll notice nothing comes through. But if I do go and I hit this one, I now have sound. So just make sure you choose the right one. From there, I can go to my arcade. This is output sampler. And I'm going to select the push because all I want to use is the push for this particular track. Track is in the actual MIDI itself. And then as far as our audio tracks go, just make sure you're choosing the correct audio input from your interface. So once you have that done, go ahead and go down to your monitor section here and select auto for everything. What auto is going to do is when you have the track record enabled, or the track is recording, or the track is playing the clip that you've previously recorded, you will be able to hear each of those inputs. If you do not have it selected, say you have off, you're not going to hear anything while you're recording or record enabled. You will only hear playback. If you have in selected, you're going to hear it no matter what is going on, whether you have it record enabled, etc. So just make sure you have auto selected. At that point, that's really all we have to do for Ableton. We can cruise over to the push now, and we can just use this from now on. So let's move over to the push. Okay, now that we have Ableton set up, we can go ahead and switch over to our push here. One of the first things that I like to do when I start recording is I like to hang out in this mix mode. What this does is it gives me the ability to easily select the track that I want to be recording onto, as well as just know where my tracks are, but it also gives me the ability to easily turn the volumes up and down of each track. At that point, I just want to note 2 things really quick. Metronome, this is how you turn your metronome on and off. I kind of suggest you have that coming out of your cue into your headphones and not into the kind of concert speakers or whatever your audience is hearing. The other thing I'm going to go through is this fixed length button here. This is pretty important. When it is turned on, this button's going to be flashing. You can also see it says fixed length up there. What fixed length does is it tells Ableton how long do you want it to record in terms of musical measures or bars until it stops recording and immediately starts looping. To select how long you want it to do that for, simply just hold it down and it's going to pop up this little dialog up here, and you can choose by clicking any of these green buttons and just make sure the one that you want is highlighted. So now that we've done that, we're basically ready to record. I'm going to start with my shaker. Quick note, is to record enable a track, you have to click and hold down a button until this little circle appears. If you just select a track by clicking it, nothing happens other than you've selected the track, and you can like add a device onto it like a filter. But to record enable, you have to click and hold until this little circle appears. So I'm going to click and hold on my shaker track, and for audio tracks, I generally record in session view, session view right here, because it gives me the ability to really easily just hit a clip spot and then start recording. Right now I have Ableton set for a 1 bar count in. It's going to record for 2 bars, and then it's going to start looping. And I'll show you how that works. So now I have this loop going. At this point, I can go ahead and start my snaps. I'm going to click and hold, and then I'm going to start recording again. Ableton is defaulted to start recording on the downbeat of the next measure, so just keep that in mind. It'll give you a little more time to start recording. So I'm going to click it right now. So I got this groovy little shaker clap thing, or shaker snap thing going, and I'm going to go over to some MIDI. This is a sampler, and now I'm going to record in a slightly different way. I'm not going to use session view. I'm actually going to switch over to note view so that I'm able to play my track. But to record, we also have this button down here. This is another record button for Ableton. Just keep in mind, you have to double click it to actually record. So I've already clicked it once just now, and then to record I click it again. At this point I can turn my metronome off, and I can kind of hear what's going on. So now I'm going to record my bass. Make sure you click and hold till it's record enabled, this little circle, but I want a little more time now. So I'm going to switch this to a 4 bar fixed length, and now I can go ahead and double click this, or switch to session view, whichever one you prefer, and start recording. Maybe turn that down just a little bit. Check, check. And then now let's do a little bit of piano. Cool. So now that I have that recorded, we can go ahead and throw in maybe like a little bit of a beat. And this one, I'm going to go into note mode, and I'm going to use my double click over here to play or record. Quick note, I messed up that recording, and I know I just paused right here, but Ableton has this cool thing with the push where you don't actually have to pause to delete or anything. You can just come up here and hit undo, and you'll notice now that I've hit that button, I no longer have anything in my drum rack piano roll. If I hit it one more time, I'm just going to delete that clip entirely. You can also just hit delete up here. So I'm going to go ahead and try that one more time. Really just wanted to show you that you can delete your tracks on the fly. So now that we've done that, we've kind of created a little bit of a bass for a song, or a basis for a song. We can come back to session view, and you'll notice all of these clips are blinking. This means they're playing. I've paused the song for now using my play button down here, so if I click it again, they're going to start playing. But a cool thing here is now we can start messing around and making different sounds for our song and creating different clips. So if I wanted to go in and change something about the piano and make a new clip that I want to play later on, I can pause the piano track by just simply hitting a button below this flashing clip that is not already filled with a piano roll or MIDI piano clip. So if I come over here and I click this, now my piano is done, or it's not playing anymore. So now I want to record some more piano. I can just come to session, click and hold, and let's try something else here. And then now, you can kind of start throwing like effects onto your track. So say I wanted to put a filter on my master track. And there you go. That's pretty much like the basic way of creating a track from scratch to finish, or from start to finish in a way. Feel free to mess around with stuff. I really like throwing different effects on each track kind of as I go, maybe a reverb or a delay or something, turning them on and off, and yeah, have fun with it. If you have any questions, hit us in the comments, and yeah, we'll answer them as fast as we can. Have a good one.